Tell me you don't feel cool.
I feel cool, dude.
Let me put you on Wile X game.
I'm a Ray-Ban Oakley man.
They're doing things no one else has done in this game right now. And I've literally warned them while getting blown up by an RPG.
Think I care?
No, you don't. I couldn't think of a better way to start this special edition of the After Action podcast.
Trying to hold getting shot at by an RPG over my head?
No, I wouldn't. I'm joined today on this road traveling episode with the one, the only, the Balaclava bad boy. Administrative results. Yeah, I remember when we met the first time. It was at SHOT Show. You two dudes showed up and were like, we need this hotel for like 2 hours.
Yeah, she was like, okay, got all clammy. And I was like, I promise it's not like gay porn stuff, please.
Here's what you need to think about. Imagine how jarring it is. You're in Afghanistan and you see a guy in like a full outfit and then you see these like retro 80s high tops. You're like, what the fuck is that? This episode was sponsored by Medical. Every veteran deserves respect, competency, and clarity when pursuing a disability claim. Of course, we all know the frustration is much more common. If you're looking for a better path and documentation that strengthens your disability rating request, start with our sponsor, Medical. Re's team of professionals work with a network of experienced physicians, and they've already provided meaningful medical evidence for more than 25,000 veterans. And while they can't guarantee what the VA will decide, 95%, let me say that again, 95% of their clients reported receiving a disability rating of 70% or higher. That's because when you connect with Medical, they take the time to explain your options before you pay for anything. Free consultations. So don't give up on a stalled process or settle for an unfavorable decision from the VA. Cut through the frustration with accurate medical evidence and a streamlined approach that allows you to pursue your claim confidently. Head over to remedical.com, that's Romeo Echo Echo medical.com to book your free consultation. Check out our link in the podcast section for more details. Tell me you don't feel cool.
I feel cool, dude. I want you to know, are we going?
We're going.
Oh, I want you to know I started wearing Oakleys. Like, I've worn Oakleys before. I'm usually a Ray-Ban Wayfarer man, but then I got back on the Oakley kick.
Let me put you on Wile X game.
No, you can't.
They're doing.
I'm a Ray-Ban Oakley man.
They're doing. Look at these. You didn't even know these were Wile X. They're doing things no one else has done in this game right now, and I've literally warned them while getting blown up by an RPG. They saved my eyes.
Hey, that's cool. Think I care?
No, you don't. But you look. That's basically what happened.
I'm trying to hold getting shot at by an RPG over my head.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you volunteered for that.
I did volunteer for it.
Yeah.
Because I'm brave.
You're a young man. You're like, no, it sounds cool. Brown people hurling RPGs at me.
I couldn't think of a better way to start this special edition of the After Action podcast. I'm joined today on this road traveling episode. With the one, the only, the incredible, the man, the myth, the legend, the Balaclava bad boy. Administrative results. Welcome to the show.
Zach, it's good to be here.
Do I call you administrative results, AR, Aaron? Can I call you Aaron? Can we go with that? What do you want?
You can address me as Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
Okay, yeah. Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. Thank you so much for having me here. Lord Commander LOTW.
When you said it, it sounded really good, and I actually kind of do like
so,
that.
Lord Commander, thank you for having me here. The Southwest, like you said, it's
pretty
cool
to have you. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I don't think it's your usual studio. We just filmed one of my podcasts, and now we're flipping the set, and now it's Zach's show.
Yeah,
so it's great to be here.
It is great to be here. It's great to be together.
Yeah,
because I wanted you to come to Nashville, but you're like, no. This is lowering as we speak.
Yeah,
I wanted you to come to Nashville.
I would love to come visit.
You can.
It just worked out perfect for you to show up. Apparently,
you can save my house and everything.
That'd be blasted.
I'll even put some meat on the steak. Some steak on the Traeger, and we'll do it.
Oof. Well, I have to show up now.
And I had Rich over there recently. One of the best.
I like Rich a lot, man.
You know what I like about Rich? Can I talk? Can I cook on Rich for a little bit?
Absolutely. This is your show.
When you think about people from an area, I don't want to say stereotypes, but you have certain preconceived notions.
Of course,
he hits them. In all the best ways.
He's a big Bills fan.
Diehard fan.
Yeah.
Diehard. He shows up. He does the whole Bills Mafia thing. He even retrofitted a fire truck to the Merv, which he shows up. It it dispenses beer and liquor, video game consoles, the whole thing. He shows up, parks there, does that all day. Then he goes into the game. You know, he's got a few. He loves the high noons. He loves the high noons. Got a few of those in his system, and then he heads up there, pops a top. But thankfully, the Lord gave him an extra layer, and he's ready to go.
That's right.
Bill's Mafia. But you kind of want that out of someone from Buffalo.
Yeah, I would expect it.
And
I would
he
expect
delivers.
nothing less.
He delivers. I don't know what I expected coming here to see you, but you always deliver.
Arizona is really like it's a great slate. You never know what you're going to get. It's all pretty like there's no accent. You know,
There is not an accent here. Why is that? Why is that?
You know, there's just nothing to us to have an accent. We don't have like a Southwest accent, man.
You should start it. You should start it. Start one
Our
right
accent's no accent, man.
I did get upset when I was at the hotel and it said, "Welcome, y'all." I was like, "That's mine. Don't you take it from me, Arizona."
Are you big y'alls over there?
Yes, I'm
All
from
right,
the South.
what kind of
Y'all.
southern dialect do you have?
Do I have?
Yeah.
It's something that I have to taper.
I can hear a little bit of twang there. Are you from Tennessee?
I'm from Memphis, is where I grew up. And I have to, my grandmother pulled me aside when I was real young, and she goes, you can't talk like that.
Really?
And I was like, what do you mean?
What do you mean about that,
She's like, Sonny boy, you can't talk like that.
So you talk like you don't have like the agrarian landowner accent?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think of like the southern charm. Yo, Anna, my client's a good boy.
That's more like I think Georgia, Carolina is when I hear that.
He was just ramshackled by your goons of the state.
Yeah, like someone who's wearing a seersucker suit. That slow southern drawl sounds like molasses pouring out.
That's the southern draw I think of.
Yeah. Those are like people that. Well, yes, we'll take the conversation in the parlor.
My great grandpappy fought against the Yankees in the War of Northern Aggression.
Federalists.
Those
My great grandmother used to talk. Yeah, she's called them that. Yeah. Because her grandfather talked about when Sherman marched south to Atlanta and he burned everything.
It's pretty gnarly, dude.
It's a gnarly. I mean, it's literally, it's what he did. Is what broke the South actually.
Yeah.
And like the memory of it is something that was like passed on. I mean, we had no stake in it whatsoever, but she was just like remembered her telling him telling her about it.
Yeah, I got no stake in the Civil War. My grandparents were all immigrants from like Germany and Italy.
Really?
I think they came in like the 1900s too, so they missed all that.
At least didn't have to travel on like wooden boats.
Yeah,
with the wind.
I know. Could you imagine?
No, you had to go off some guy's memory. I think we go left.
I mean, to be fair, they were pretty good.
No, they were good at doing it, but it's still just it's like in school, like your friend
is mad. He's like doing the thing.
No, the stars. Yeah, no, okay. Not doing it.
Raise the mizzen and the main.
Yeah, see, a t-shirt company. That's all I heard. Mizzen and main.
Yeah. That's
how nautical I am these days.
I don't think I can do this shape.
You can do it.
Time, dude.
I literally just do it for my brain injury stuff. It helps.
Okay, that's good.
And I've seen enough radio DJs do it, and I actually have a slight sensitivity to light because of my eye surgery I had in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, it's from all the TBIs. I take it.
TBIs, yeah.
Yeah, I get blown up by RPGs and whatnot.
Yep, a few times.
I don't do it, man.
You know, I wanted to pay for college, but I wanted to be free.
Abdul's in his little got his cheetahs on, being like, "Ooh, that looks like a good American."
You have no idea. You have no idea how much of a target indicator that is. Like
cheetahs.
So
that's what I hear is like if you guys saw dudes with cheetahs on, it was
that's
like
a wrap.
Kill them.
That's a wrap.
That's what I heard. That's pretty sick.
Literally, they were either barefoot or they had sandals on, and they also had hands that looked like catcher's mitts because they were literally using them to farm and work outside all day. So you see these dudes roll around with like weird makeup and then lace up shoes. Hey, come here. Hey, come here, you. Hey.
I know what you're here for.
Oh,
me?
Ooh, me? And then they beat, hey, bag him and tag him. But yeah, every single time. So when I see that Americana Pipe Dream apparel,
I got some cheetahs.
Don't put them on. Don't drink.
Let
me put them on. Have a full
blown
blown like
later. I'm gonna throw them on.
I hope you do. Actually, I'm as free as a bird. I'm admin now. Just go look at your son. Hey, sorry, dude. Your dad put on the cheetahs.
Yeah, he put on the cheetahs. His fate was sealed.
It's not up to me. It's blame it on the war. But no, it's just funny to see that they're sold now. And I had no idea because like here's what you need to think about. Imagine how jarring it is. You're in Afghanistan and you see a guy in like a full outfit, and then you see these like retro 80s high tops. You're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, it always would throw me off being like, wait, well, that's a bad guy, but like, you just never see it. Like,
Yeah.
it was so, I remember they were so clean and different, and like, the juxtaposition of it always threw me off.
Where were those guys from? Were they from, like, were they locals?
All over.
Or are they just like, hey, we're doing a little jihad, you know, taking volunteers?
So the main thing that people misunderstand about the Taliban is they pay good. Realistically, that's what it comes down to.
I think I was watching some of the docs, and they're saying like some of their heroin loads were like 60 grand per like kilo. So it's like, that's some good cash revenue.
It's more money, like, it's more money than they would ever see ever.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine you're a guy who's your only prospect is farming, and some dude comes up to you and goes, hey, do you want to dig a hole? That's it. You want to dig a hole? And you're like, what do I have to do? Just you dig a hole. That's all you got to do. You dig a hole in one spot, you leave. You get like a few grand, few American dollars. And they're like, oh, well, I'll dig a hole. How many holes you need, boss? And then the next guy comes through and he puts the stuff in the hole. That's phase 2, because guys would get killed in the operation. And then phase 3 covered up. So like, there's 3 jobs right there. And then the rest of them would just be, you know, local hires to protect like the drug trade, because that's where the majority of the world's opium comes from. And then people were just paid to enforce. And so a big thing they would do is the Taliban would come around and they would pay off the imams and the elders. And they'd be like, hey, tell them to hate the Americans. And, you know, you got a place where people don't read and have a low education, and the people that they're told are in charge of them, the elders, and then the religious leaders, the imams, are like, yeah, those people suck, then those people suck. That's it.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. But it's, you know, like, I always found it to be that most of them weren't zealots or like believing into it as much as it was just like, this is just a job. So I don't know.
Dirty job. Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. Micro, one of the best shows ever, actually.
Someone's got to raise the stock prices of Raytheon and Boeing.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be some Taliban.
Someone's got to make sure that we spread democracy everywhere, or we do our best.
Manage democracy.
We manage democracy. But you're a man who's managed democracy in his own way. Between the war on the Call of Duty battlefields, to your time in law enforcement, to my favorite storyteller, movie reviewer. You have so many hats. You have so many things that you do, and they're all good.
Thank you.
You're the real life Danny Archer.
That's you know what? I'll take that.
I'll take
that. I've never been to Africa, but I'll take that.
I want to go. I literally want to go. It's the only continent I've ever been to.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll make it out, but like, I'll do it.
We'll have a good time.
Yeah, we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
What if we just like all stay?
Dude, how sick would it be if we could source like HK USPCs, you know, from our bartender friends?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sick.
I'm down. No, where's your family's always been in Arizona?
No, we moved here from the Midwest back in the late 90s. My parents were both pastors.
Okay.
They got a pastor gig out here, brought the family out, and been here ever since.
And
so I grew up here.
You're one of how many?
One of 4.
One of 4, and you're the third?
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. You're the baby. Baby Aaron.
That's right.
Is that what they called you?
Baby
Baby boy?
They still do.
Really?
Yeah, mama says, hey, come here, baby boy.
Really?
No, I just made that up.
You just made that up?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I kind of wish you did. For you.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
That'd be warm, dude.
That'd be cool. What's it like growing up the son of pastors?
You know, it's definitely in a weird way. There's that social microscope, you know, where what you do and
pastor's
say.
kid stuff.
Pastor's kid. There's that dynamic. Some stereotypes are true.
Yeah.
Definitely an interesting. You definitely have you know, social skills you learn just dealing with people, and
I guess you have to, right? At a young age, because people are always like, you're so and so's son.
Yeah.
So you have to interact with them, and you're always like, basically like company's always over.
Yeah.
Wow. I never really thought about that till this moment.
There's a dynamic to it.
Yeah. Did it ever feel like, I don't want to say trapped, like you're trapped, but like that it was not controlling. What's the right word? Unescapable a little bit, because like it's just like you're part of this unit and less individualized. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like the family business is, you know, being the clergy. Being the clergy.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a dynamic to that. And then all my siblings grew up to be pastors.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go be a cop and then make internet gun videos.
3 out of 4 became pastors?
Yeah.
She definitely doesn't call you Baby Aaron.
No, dude, no. If someone's got to be the black sheep, brother, it's going to be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that makes sense. So now you're working your way, you're growing up a son of the Southwest out here with the Suns, Phoenix Suns, basketball reference.
My desert, my Arizona.
You're Arizona.
My Dune.
You're Dune. One of the greatest films of all time, hands down.
Fantastic.
The rest of them are going to be horrible because the rest of the books are horrible. Fight me. I don't care what anybody says. The rest of the books are bad.
Your show. I'm not fighting you on your show.
How do you feel about the rest of the books then?
I never read the rest of the books.
It's rough.
Is it?
So the long and short of it is Frank becomes like very, very popular on the first books. And then like as he's trying to finish out all 6 of them, his wife gets like very, very ill and ends up dying. And he just doesn't really resolve any of the stories in the end. So it's tough, but like there's never any like payoff at the end, which not like everything should, but there should be like some resolution. But there's like 6 or 7 storylines that just never close. But that being said, every time I watch Dune 2, when he walks in there and he goes, I'm pointing the way, I go, that's me. That's literally me.
He's literally me.
It's literally me. A white guy in the Middle East leading people? That's literally me. Like, that's literally me.
The hand of God is my witness.
Like
I am the voice from the outer world.
I mean, I have the hype video that I just watch like once a day when I'm like, I'm getting to my sad boys. I'm like, all right. Take my life.
There is some to that scene where it's like the clarity of mind, the command presence.
Yeah.
It is so enticing.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Just there's so many different things like that are let's cook on Dune 2 for a little bit. In case you missed it, unsubscribe immediately. I don't want you to be in my life. But no. When he walks in there and he goes, I'm pointing the way, and then his mom goes, slow down. Right? And then he walks up to the dude and he tells him his dreams. And he goes, it was known by a Fremen name, Dune. It's not a Gaib. Just every part of it.
Oof, yeah.
But like even when he takes off the ring and he goes, this is my father's ducal signet. And then he looks at Gurney to show that he's finally stepped up and taken his father's place, an acknowledgement of his past and who he is becoming his present and his future. All these things coming together as one. It's the most beautiful form of storytelling I've seen in such a long time. I think about this all the time.
Father, I finally found my way.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's like, he's finally accepted who he is. He's an Atreides. He's also Harkonnen.
I got goosebumps, dude.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And then he's just, I'll lead you to Green Paradise. Perfect.
It's like finally coming into the power, accepting it, because at first he was fighting with it.
Yeah.
And then once he leans into it, it's full tilt.
Well, when he's talking to Gurney prior to that, he's like, because you lose power? No, because I gain it. I can't go south. Can't go south because he's scared of the fundamentalists.
Then he goes, and then it's his show, dude. The great jihad is upon the world. The Lancerat.
The narrow path.
There is a way through it.
There is a way through it, the narrow path. That is one of the funniest memes, though, of you sitting back being like, I'm telling you, he wrote a grandfather word.
Yeah.
It's just, I like the idea that you're breaking it down with your boys. Where do you come up with all your memes? Tell me right now.
It's
how are you so good at it?
A little bit of a secret sauce, man. I just stand in the shower and then stuff comes to me.
How big is your shower? I'd like to go there later. All right, cool. So I can pick up some.
You probably fit in there with me.
Yeah. All right. Be like, okay, Dune 2.
Yeah, it'll hit you. It's maybe there's some sort of magnetic energy there in my shower where I can connect with the earth,
But all of it, I actually look forward to all your posts.
Really?
Like, because you have this uncanny ability to tap into pop culture and then to weave it into what you're doing as a creator in a near effortless manner. I'm not saying that you're not putting effort into it. It just seems that way because it's so good. Like Fallout, and you're just like setting stuff to like casually reference Fallout while also doing stuff that's talking about administrative results.
Right. This is this is my job.
It's your job.
My job. Someone's got to do it.
You think you take it more seriously than most creators? Because I've always found you to be very not specific. What's the word? Intentional?
I do take it pretty serious.
Yeah.
There's some things I've noticed where some guys do it and it's kind of like a fun pastime for them. This was my escape from working a real job.
Same.
So to me, I take it pretty deadly serious because it's like I don't want to have to go back to working a real job. So I want to ride this gravy train for as long as possible.
Yes.
Because I enjoy this, and it's very rare as a man where you get to have a job that you love to do and provide for your family. So I take it pretty serious. Like if this is what I'm doing, then I want to do it for as long as I can and then set myself up, for financial prosperity for my grandkids in the future.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that is a level of reverence. And it's like the audience decided that I get to do this job too.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because it's like,
Because you never take that for granted.
no, it's like the audience is what makes it. So if the
I think
boys are
everyone does
enjoying
it.
it, you know,
sorry.
if the boy, oh no, you're fine. If the boys are enjoying it, if your crowd's enjoying it, then hey, keep doing it, you know. But essentially, it's kind of like the audience decides who they want to be their guy, and if like you resonate with them, if you hit, you know, with the cultural, if you are actually like,
you get this from the
right, you know, it's like it's like 'cause some people try and like step into,
they try to hammer themselves into the niche, or
right. It's like
it's very heavy handed. It's clumsy. It's
exactly. It
lacks authenticity.
Yeah, they never were part of it to begin with.
Yes.
It's like I feel like I was someone that kind of, when I found the firearms, it's hard to say like industry or culture, because it's like a little bit of like a bacteria on a micro. Like we all have like our own little culture. There's different subsets, different genres, different even beliefs and ideologies. And I remember like I kind of grew up in that, in a sense of niches, of something that I felt attached to. And so I had a good finger on the baseline of like, okay, this is kind of like what we are. And it's a very out there concept, especially like being inside of the internet niche. It's a very new concept too. So to me, it just always felt very natural. And I always felt like, okay, I feel like I fit in, understanding a lot of the humor, a lot of the inside jokes. And so it just felt like an easy transition and a segue into it.
I think one of the best things that I have going for me, and I'm sure I just by which said I know you'll agree with this, is that I have worked real jobs.
Oh yeah.
And I never forget that. Like it would scare me if I had only done some version of this, and I would mistake it as this will always be it.
Oh yeah, no,
but no, that like anything could happen.
Yeah.
Like what if, like for instance, like remember when Twitter wasn't popular and your whole thing was based on Twitter? Now it's called X. But remember, like lots of people lost their whole thing, or like Vine, a better example.
Yeah.
Vine just went away one day, and I'm always like not looking for like a golden parachute, but like aware of the fact that this is momentary and that I do need to capitalize on it.
Right. Sometimes I think like it could be like the NFL career where it's you know, sure you're making a lot of money, but it's going to be over pretty soon. Like you can't be a hyper athlete forever. I think about it in that sense. In other ways, I think it could go longer than we expect because it is still so new. It's a weird thing.
Very true.
What's scary is it's like even kids now, they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be an influencer. It's like, dude, someone's got to have real jobs around here.
Yeah.
Like that's the scary thing to me. And
yeah,
like for society, it's like that old Assyrian like tablet they found where it's like the world is ending. Kids don't listen to their parents. Everyone wants to write a book. It's so over. Like, you ever see that meme?
No. Is that real?
I think so. I think it's like an old Assyrian tablet from like
that's
4,500.
I like
BC
the idea that everyone wants to write a book. Like we don't need any more authors. We need authors now more than ever. But like in Assyria, they're like, no more authors. We need warriors. We need farmers.
I'll get emails from guys that are like 18. They're like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. And I was like, dude, maybe you want to get some more life experience.
What is it going to be about?
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to do, man? That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, all of our personas are built on what we did prior to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a factual thing.
Like, that's where my subject matter experience, I don't know if I can call myself an expert, but like that's where it all comes from. Like yours, from the same place. But like, he can't, I don't know what I would start a channel on if I was 18.
I'm not saying you can't do it.
No, for
I'm just
sure.
saying it's like, because if you're trying to do like, say, like, I think it was like, I want to be a gun tuber. And it's like, you absolutely can. It's just, when you're that young, you lack so much, I don't know, like life experience that plays into so many other things.
Yeah.
Like even I started out young. I think I started my channel when I was either 22 or 23.
Hope you guys are enjoying the episode. If you want to continue to hear more stories like this and to help us grow the podcast, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and to also drop a rating and review. Every bit helps. Thank you so much. Now let's get back to the episode. What was your first video about?
It was like some gun thing. I had to go check my memories. I constantly dump info for longbow information.
I do like that little side project of yours.
It's funny, and I'll tell you now. I just ordered a crossbow, so I'm gonna do another video. But it's like medieval warfare, for whatever reason, is one of my favorite topics.
I think it's because it's under discussed.
I could see that.
I mean, like, it's really like, first, disease was a big factor.
Well, it's weird too, because anything really prior to like, and there's still misconceptions probably about like line warfare. You think of like dudes lining up with flintlocks or muzzle load. Or I mean, the Civil War is really the first, I think maybe the Crimean War. It's one of the first like cameras start getting introduced. So for photos, you can start documenting warfare. So I mean, before that, it's like, how did people line up and stab each other to death? Like we have an idea. There's writing about it, but I mean, if you look at ancient warfare, everyone already had an idea of how it works. So no one really talked about like okay, these dudes line up and then they clash, or there's like a dead space, and then people either like, there's not like a real clear like 100% definitely. We have art, we have the depictions.
I've always argued against this, like that. I just don't feel like people really just stood on lines and did that. That there had to be more of like a finesse to more of an art to it instead of just like running at each other.
Yeah. I could see it going both ways. I could see there's dead space and pockets that develop, or it's like once you finally do commit and close because there's the mass of like the human energy, right? When everyone's lined up, you don't want to look like a coward. So then you commit to the bit and you close and you're stabbing away.
No, there's definitely that, but there had to be like more like, what am I looking for? Like
organization.
I think of the command and control element.
Oh, right.
Like,
I
so
definitely
like,
think that existed. It's not like how Hollywood depicts like a giant mob. I definitely think
because there's no way either side could control anything. You'd be like, guys in gray that way. Like
absolutely not. I mean, you think about like the Romans; they were very well disciplined.
Yeah,
they were
their swords were made just for stabbing and cutting motions.
Yeah, the Romans were armed with multiple weapons.
Yeah.
They had their gladius, they had their pilum, they had their shield. They even people don't even realize they would carry slings around for like slinging stones or lead weights.
That's awesome.
So a lot of like legionnaires would have the slingshot, so they could have ranged weapons. I mean, that's really ever talked about. And they would write like graffiti on those. They'd be like for Pompey's ass or something like that, So they'd be like,
that's where it first started.
I mean, they probably started older than that, but they would be talking trash with their weapens,
That's happened throughout every war. Then that's awesome because then it goes to like from Pearl Harbor with love. From like we would draw smiley faces on our 40 mic, or like other stuff that I can't say publicly, but like we would do all sorts of different things like that. And it's still originally some guy was like chiseling a stone, being like,
and these little lead stones, they're like a spherical, like tear-shaped stones, I think, and they would even cover them in lead too.
Perfect.
And those slings are gnarly, man.
Yeah.
I got a buddy. I always talk about him whenever I bring this subject up because I love this dude. But Dash, man, this dude's chiseled. He's built like a Greek god.
Nice.
And
hot.
Yeah,
what?
He's a meat stud.
Yeah,
right.
A meat stud.
This dude does it all. He does the war bows. He does the atlatls. He does spear throwing. He does the slings. Dude gets after.
Sounds like he sells a fitness program.
I think he should if he doesn't. But it's like ancient warfare.
I'm building my body like my ancestors.
Yeah,
there's a bunch
warfare
of dudes.
Fitness program.
Yeah.
The dude's pretty cool. But I'll watch his stuff, and he's like when he does a slingshot stuff, he's like slinging it, and he hits a helmet, like a metal helmet, like it indents the helmet.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, it's game over, dude.
That's a wrap.
You're a bad day. Like those things are lethal.
Yeah.
Like I think they're even more lethal, and logistically, if we're looking at like a mass scale, the biggest hang up is the skill it takes to use them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like some rope, like some hemp rope.
Yeah.
I mean, David killed Goliath with the sling.
Yes, he did.
And I probably had, and then they even have multiple variations of the slings too for different ranges. So you can get a longer one or a shorter one.
Interesting.
I know I just tangent your podcast about.
No, this is the stuff I think about too. But this is why I love everything you make.
Right.
Because you effortlessly tell a story, right, in a way that doesn't make me feel dumb. And is entertaining at all aspects of it.
Well, I'm dumb myself, so I got to tell the story that I can understand.
Yes, but most people can't break down Sicario in a way that's interesting.
Okay, I'll take that.
You will take these compliments.
I'll take them. Sometimes it is hard. Like it's nice to get compliments.
No, I understand. I understand it because it's like whatever. But like it's not just because we're friends. It's like literally like I appreciate how hard you work to make good stuff.
Thanks, man.
And like again, like. I told you when I was at the Unsub house like 2 or 3 months ago, like we all of us sat in complete silence and watched your Sicario breakdown.
It's a great honor.
Yeah, that's Donut, Fat Electrician, Brandon, Eli, like we all just sat there and like no one laughed at everything, like all of it. It was just like The only thing that was said was like, God, he's so good. Like,
if my YouTube videos are being watched like in that fashion, or when someone's eating food, that to me is like the highest honor a YouTuber can get.
yeah, we were waiting for people to show up to do the podcast.
Yeah.
We all just sat there.
That's pretty sick. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like because like, you cover many things. Talk about the story. You talk about like Mike Vining and like all the different references to gun culture. Because here's what I want to say to you, and I've been waiting to say this actually, is that what I feel that you're doing specifically, I feel like you're the cure to people hating gun culture. I feel like you're the solution to that. Right? There are a lot of personalities. I don't know how you feel about them. Let's just say they're galvanizing. No one that we're friends with or that I know you're friends with, but there's some people who like do crazy stuff. It's beyond just clickbait. It's how they really believe things to be.
Yeah.
But you're doing things to like humanize it and make it less like jarring and galvanizing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, because you're interweaving it into modern culture in a way that's like, hey, you can do this, instead of being like, how many gallons of water do you have for your family? You know? Do you have 4 months of it? No.
Yeah, that stuff. That stuff can be jarring.
That's fear mongering.
Yeah, it's like, all right. I think that stuff's important. I definitely think like, squirreling away stuff is.
Yeah, I have like, MREs at my house.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely like a no brainer. But it's like I don't want to harp on that 29.8 because one is boring.
Yeah.
It's like okay, I should be well prepared. Thank you. Cool. Got it. Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Like, and I get it's to sell stuff. People want to sell different things like that. But like, I always say that like the biggest problem with gun culture, especially, and I'm not really in it. I've got 1 foot in it. Yeah. 1 foot out. I'm much more of a Sergeant 4-leaf Tayback. You know what I mean?
I don't know. What do you mean by that?
Tropic Thunder.
Gotcha. Okay.
He goes, I don't really know what it's called. I just know the sound.
I know the sound it makes when it takes a man's life.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah.
All right.
That's me. I'm trying to learn more about it, but like just the way y'all talk about like
there's something you said
minute
about
of
that.
angle and stuff.
Yeah, it's like with guys that have actually been to war versus like the flat range operator. I think that's a real thing because like you see guys on the flat range how they shoot, and I've been guilty of this too, where it's like the high speed operator, like doing the reloads, looking cool for camera, and then you watch like actual war footage, and this dude's like, they're like, they're reloading kind of slow. Everyone's all tired because they have no sleep. Everyone's hungry and pissed to be there.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a whole different thing. Like
way different.
Everything that I was doing in Afghanistan specifically was light infantry.
Yeah,
right. So you're going out with like when I was a team leader, I had M4 203. 12 rounds on me with a belt, suspenders, and then one in the gun, 4 or 5 on my chest. Let's go. And then you have to be able to move with a plate carrier for about a click in one direction. In 100. Triple digit weather, and then come back. And like, I know how to shoot an ACOG but that's like what I was trained to do.
There's so much more to it than just high speed Instagram drills.
Well, yeah, but like what I love about me selfishly is that like I've seen people that I've served with who honestly I left in charge of wag bags, which for anyone who doesn't know, those are the things you poop in. Like one kid I know started a whole like survivalist YouTube channel and talking about guns and stuff. He literally had no job and no responsibility. We left him places. Yeah. I don't ever do that. I'm like, this is what I know, bare bones, blah, blah, blah. I'll never be like, well, I think this one will be better according to like, I'm not like doing gun talk with like everyone else. Instead, I like to lean on you and people I ask about gun stuff are like you, Cody, Brandon, King Picks is a guy I love a lot. I ask him stuff.
I like King.
Oh, he's so great. He's one of the best. Like those are people that like I'm like, you're a subject matter expert. Explain this to me.
It's funny. I don't even think of myself as like a subject matter expert.
I do.
I always try and like clarify like, hey, I don't know everything. Like when I first started getting into guns, I thought I knew a lot, and then the more I learned, I was like, oh, you actually don't.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different things. Some guys are built like encyclopedias. They can just rattle off like, well, actually, this product and this product, and it's like, more power to you. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I want to try stuff out and then see, okay, is this going to work? I mean, and then you start trying stuff out, like in full kit. Are you trying moving and you're trying to shoot and you're seeing what gets caught up on what, like all that nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy it though. But nah.
Now I like the way that y'all investigate, like the way that y'all see the weapons as like tools and like different ways to use them and employ them.
Right.
Like
right.
I like that. I'm always like, I was trying to do this thing. This is what I did. The end. Like I'm not like blah blah blah, which is I think smart. I don't know. Because I've especially military veterans, a lot of people they really spread it thin, is what I'll say nicely. They're like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, brother, you didn't do that. Like, brother, you didn't do that.
That was one thing I really wanted to avoid, especially being like when I first started out with the anonymity aspect, because I don't want to claim to be something I wasn't. Like, I'm just a nerd with some guns.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of law enforcement time. And I think the law enforcement time, of course, is pretty valuable, learning a lot about the world. And then the employment of, at the extreme end of lethal force when necessary. But a lot of it's a thinking man's game of how do you get there to that point? What are the things that you were fed? What's the employment of other tools? So it's like all that, right? And even that being said, there's definitely like kind of the same world. There could be guys that spread it thin in the law enforcement community, but yeah, it's definitely a big thing to bite off.
What do you think's the best thing that you've learned from your time in law enforcement? What are some of the things you take away from it?
I think the most important thing is just knowing the law, knowing your rights. Because people, a lot of times, guys just don't realize how much power the individual citizen has. Like, hey, a cop, if you're dealing with law enforcement, knowing the process and knowing how they work and knowing how they think, right? That's the pretty powerful thing. Like, say you are the subject of a crime, right? Whatever it may be. You may be like, even you could fit the description. And so the cops are stopping you. So that means they're detaining you. What does that mean to be detained? It means your freedom of movement is now restricted. What can they do in that situation? Well, if they're detaining you, they can demand your ID. If you don't give it to them, they're going to take you to jail. So it's like understanding how the law plays out, understanding your rights. So it's like, okay, hey, talking to the cops. Hey, why am I being stopped right now? Well, we either observed you do this, or we believe you are in the process or have committed a crime. Oh, am I being detained? Yes, you're being detained.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my ID. Well, what happened? I'd like to speak to a lawyer.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything, all my advice usually boils down to get a lawyer. If you are a subject of like, even cops will tell you don't talk to cops.
Yeah.
Their whole reason of being there is to
gather
out
information.
if you committed a crime or not, and then build a case around that. So it's like, get a lawyer. I guess if we boil down all my law enforcement time is get a lawyer.
Well, I mean, that's a clip.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. Social clip.
We got him.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I wondered for a while if I was going to be a cop. I even interviewed.
That's very much a Marine Corps path, like a pipeline.
I did one interview and I got to the final round. It was up to me. If I wanted.
Was that a time when being a cop was like very sought after?
2011.
So probably, yeah.
A lot of money. A lot of money's being thrown at me, and they're like, "You can do SWAT too." And I was just kind of like, I don't know. There's like a few things I know I can do in my sleep. In the sense of like, I don't know what it takes to be a cop. I know that I could figure it out.
It's a weird profession.
It's very weird, but when I say security, I can do in my sleep. Physical security, event security, all that stuff, blah, 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 I can do in my sleep. With cop, I was like, I'm probably like halfway there with just understanding some of the stuff of what it takes to interact with people in high stress environments and understanding like how to react positively and negatively and mitigate risk. Yeah. Right. This is my bare bones understanding of what it takes to be a law enforcement officer, is like understanding how to protect all individuals involved in oftentimes a horrible situation and yourself. But, I ended up doing this veteran fellowship through this organization called The Mission Continues, and I was either going to do that, be a contractor, or be a cop, and I went that way. Yeah, and that's when I started working with nonprofits. But
it led you here.
It led me here.
Now you have a podcast.
Now I have a podcast. Good friends, and the VFW is attacking me.
I would call that a terrible decision. I think you should have gone with the other two.
You think I should have gone with the other two? Yeah. I mean, like. I always, do you ever wonder what your like other arcs are?
Sure, yeah.
Like contractor Zach, I think would have done that for a few years, maybe stayed there and become, I don't want to use the word warlord. Let's just call like, tribal cool guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pretty hip with the times. Yeah. If you get out of line, you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah. Hey, don't make this complicated. Do what I say or else.
Or else,
dude.
Yeah.
Or else.
You learn how to be a mob boss kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Don't you want to be on this team? Don't you want to win?
You're not being a real team player. Or your synergy is kind of off, boss.
Yeah, listen.
Compelling, face the wall.
Mahmoud, I don't like your attitude right now.
Yeah.
Real guy. That's a real guy's name. Real guy's name. If he's listening, I hope you're good. Come on, dude. Come on. Be a team player. We're all in this together.
You're not being cash money.
I like the idea of a warlord in Afghanistan being like, guys, I thought we were all friends.
Yeah, it's like what's his face? NoHo Hank from Barry.
Yeah. Batty.
Yeah, I could see that.
Batty, you're not being very nice. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. Like the law enforcement job definitely, just like policing in general, has such a controversial rep. And rightfully so. There's definitely a lot to it. I will say, one thing I think of is such a weird, like the people that can make it through, like they don't look like they're built for the profession. Like they don't have like this physicality that's required.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like there's some, like a lot of times, like when I think of female cops, like just the physicality that goes into it. Like, it's a very real, like reality based job.
Yeah.
Like I'll see like videos of female cops trying to restrain someone and the dude just runs away.
Yeah.
Or it's like they were trying to restrain a woman and the woman just runs away and you're like, what the heck, dude? Like the job requires a lot of physicality, but I think like most things in modern society, it kind of gets hampered by, I don't know if I can get too like edgy, you know?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay. I think sometimes it gets hampered by like, you know, the modern progressive take, when in reality, it's like the reality of the streets are much more brutal.
Yeah, I think when it comes in particular to law enforcement.
And I will also say there's also dudes built that way too. I'm not just harping on women, but there's also dudes built that way where I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like you're like 120 pounds soaking wet.
I can't remember his name now. I think it's Mike the Cop on Instagram. He talks about like TikTok cops and all this stuff.
Dude, I hate TikTok
He's
cops
always
so much.
like one of them he calls Officer Botox, and I was like, what? And then he really is getting Botox. He's like a cop in Miami, and like all I can think is that, granted, I know there's military veteran stuff who film TikTok and stuff. First off, people don't know in the military especially, there's way too much downtime. That's part of it. But all the cops I see filming are like in their cars, like actively. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
They're like in uniform. And so I think it's a law enforcement, law enforcement in particular has this weird thing where you have the court of public opinion, but then on top of it, people are like video themselves doing all sorts of stuff.
No.
Like I don't think I don't think most people understand the job, myself included. I don't understand the finer nuances of it. And then on top of that, a lot of people feel like they could do the job, but have never done anything like it or even close to it, which is weird. That
is a weird thing. It's very like,
it's being like,
when people talk like that, I'm like, all right, try it out. Try it, like run through a scenario.
Yeah. What would you do?
Yeah, well, let's see you do it.
Yeah, I've been to Walgreens. That doesn't mean I'm a pharmacist. Yeah. That's kind of how it feels to me, right? Like
it's definitely.
We're the same. I'm like arguing with them. We're the same. We're
pretty much the same.
I buy Advil. You make Advil, right?
I could be pharmacist.
Yeah, I could be pharmacist.
There's definitely aspects to that, man. It's one of those things. Like and cops in general could learn to be way cooler about stuff. I think a lot of people, when they worry about police, I think they worry about it from a sense of like, oh, the cops are messing with me. And I think there could absolutely be that case. But there's also the thing where like cops are so busy dealing with like actual idiots, like people that are like room temperature IQ. Like I'm not kidding, man. People don't realize how dumb a lot of just ordinary people you see out in the wild are. Like they are so dumb.
Room temperature IQ.
And the dudes that are worried about it, I'm like, dude, you're pretty smart. You're pretty well adjusted. Your chances are dealing with the cops maybe at most are a traffic stop.
Yeah.
You know, okay, hey, they got you for speeding. All right, yeah, bad luck. Hopefully they write you a warning, you know, if you're just chill about it. Because I would do that all the time. I'd pull people over. Hey, here's your warning. Slow down. You got caught today.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, cool.
Cool.
If you're going like way too fast, I'm like, hey, you're going criminal speed. I can't ignore it, but here's not a criminal citation. Otherwise, you'd be going to jail. Like it's stuff like that. You know, like you have officer discretion, and it's like most people are just trying to go about their day-to-day lives, and it's like, hey, I get it. Like especially in Arizona, like we all speed here. It's like, hey, you're going faster than normal. Like I couldn't ignore it. Otherwise, people would be like, hey, why aren't the cops doing anything?
You all speed here? Why is that?
Oh, dude, our roads are great for speeding on. It's like everyone is expected to go at least 5 miles over at the minimum.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like I've kept pace with like state troopers on the highway that are going like, 75 when it's a 65. So it's like
Interesting.
It's just a thing, right?
It's just a thing.
Yeah, if you're not speeding, it's like why are you not driving on our roads, dude?
Get out. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I mean, that doesn't apply. Like that yet again doesn't apply to all cops. Some cops may see that and be like, no, not on my highway. It's like, all right, dude, we all speed here.
Easy,
like,
Buford Pusser. Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. Don't get too crazy.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder if there's anything like that back home.
Yeah.
I don't think there is. Maybe it's because it's a better place. I don't know. I liked that you had this approach too to like understanding people as humans and not as like people that break the law.
Well, and in policing, everyone you deal with is already kind of like in an elevated state, you know, where
they're scared.
Their blood's going a little bit. They're worried they're going to get in trouble. So you have to take that into equation and then kind of put them at ease. Like, hey, man, like this is just, like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
Do you think that it's gotten worse in the digital age?
I could see that. Yeah.
I think it has.
Yeah.
I think like everyone seems like they're like working to get a clip. Either they're the aggressor or the receiver of any.
That never really bothered me.
In any situation, cops or not, whatever. Everyone's trying to get a clip.
I never worried about that as long as you're doing the right thing. It's like, okay, what are you gonna do a clip of? I can articulate everything I was doing. It's like, what? Like I had nothing to worry about. So,
did you ever have any like incidents that were like, that's not what happened, but somebody complained or anything like that, or that sticks out?
No, not that I can think of. I'm not trying to claim like I'm some high-speed cool guy cop. Like,
you heard it here first. Administrative results, high-speed
cool guy. No, I was just doing my regular thing.
Just doing your thing. Yeah. And you did it while you were making videos.
Yeah, I started. That's why I wore the balaclava. So I was afraid of IA getting me in trouble. So I wanted a level of plausible deniability. Yeah.
When did that come to you? The first idea to do that?
I think it was I was helping a buddy out with his Instagram, and then I was like, I'm gonna start my own channel because I had a YouTube before I was a cop. Like I was just enjoying like making videos. It was all like nerdy stuff like guns, airsoft, video gameplay, vlogs. It's where I learned how to make videos.
Awesome.
And then once I became a cop, I essentially took that channel down and then started the new thing. It used to be Executive Outcomes, and then Executive Outcomes came back from the grave, and I was like, "Ooh, sorry, Eben Barlow, you can have your thing back."
Please, sir, don't, yeah,
yeah. Which that got me into hot water with like people that are more progressive in the future because they didn't like the ties to apartheid South Africa apparently. So, what are you gonna do? I just enjoy the military history. I wasn't trying to say I love apartheid, but yeah. But I enjoy military history. The annoying thing is like from the modern perspective and lens, everything is not kosher moving back from like now. So
yeah,
it's like nothing is good now. It's like, oh God, give me a break, man.
Yeah. We have bigger things to worry about.
I got much bigger things to worry about.
We got much bigger things to worry about. You're like, oh, that's a cool name. Isn't that the whole
origin?
It's
a sick name.
You're like, that's a cool name, and that's why you came up with it. It's just
pretty
like
much, yeah.
And I haven't seen. I know people. I know there's that tie for Executive Outcomes was the first thing, right?
Yeah.
When did you realize that was going to be an issue?
Well, Eben Barlow, the owner of Executive Outcomes, he brought the company back in 2020. So I think I started my Instagram in like
they're
2019.
Active,
yeah,
right?
They're active right now. I think he brought it back in 2020. That's when I changed my name. I was like, ooh, my bad. If you're like, I thought it was like gone to the past. I thought it was like history. And then he brought it back from the grave, and I was like, oh, my bad. So I changed the name back over. It was kind of like definitely out of respect thing, you know?
Yeah.
So if they were bringing it back, because I thought, they were stopping war crimes in Sierra Leone, you know, from all that happening when they were hired out. So, and then they have like this weird, like people talk about them being in Rhodesia, but they weren't even around in Rhodesia. So it's a lot of interesting history that we don't get taught about in the West. Like all this weird like South African history. And even I at times am hazy on it because it's like this operation in Mozambique or this like it's a lot of stuff that's like,
I don't know anything about it.
It's very nuanced. Like I think at the time the South African border war was the largest war in Africa since World War II.
Oh my God.
So there's a lot of like cool stuff that goes into it from a military history standpoint. I was always fascinated by. It's like a foreign war in a foreign place fighting communism.
Yeah.
And of course they have the issue with apartheid back home. It's like, hey, you got to figure that out. You know, I definitely am not a big fan of racism that goes against the teaching and beliefs of Jesus Christ, but
yes.
Communism is also, in my opinion, evil. So it's like
it legitimately is.
It's definitely a weird, like, you know, there's like the moral topics that are always like, okay, you know, what's going on? So,
and then you got looped into that because people's We say it's because people's preconceived notions or lack of knowledge.
Well, I
on the
mean,
thing.
definitely like there's definitely actual communists that didn't like me. So it's like, well,
Who cares about that? I'm talking about like people being like, oh, he's named this because it's after that.
Yeah.
It's just like, no.
yeah, they thought there was.
It
way
feels
more,
lazy is what I'm saying.
They thought there was way more racism tied into it, and it's like that's not the case. It's
Yeah.
just it's an interest in military history, and it's like the irony is that it's like okay, you want to talk about racism? Think about America during World War II or Korea or even Vietnam. You know, we had racist problems back here. So I could go off.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want.
That's pretty much
Real
it.
life Danny Archer.
Yeah, that's pretty much the idea of it. Where it's like, I think you guys don't realize how racist, if you're going off that scale, how racist all of human history is. You know, it's kind of a weird tangent, but does that make sense?
No, it does make sense to me because you're talking about things. So this is again, it's what like you're breaking down these things that are very complex into like palatable, understandable bits of content.
Yeah,
Like you use movies to teach history.
That's what I like.
Right?
Like yeah.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
I would. Yeah, definitely try.
I've
and do
literally
that.
been watching your content for a week just to think about how I was going to have this conversation.
Gotcha, yeah.
Because I'm a psycho and I wanted to impress you. I hope it's going well.
It's going very well. I'm very impressed.
Is it going well? Fuck yeah. Dude, I got a Zeke thumbs up.
Dude, Zeke's
Dude, let's go.
He's like, God, I hate them so
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Oh, two cool white guys talking about war. Yeah, finally. Mama made it. Woo! We did it, you know. We did it. No, because like I the synthesis of that, because also you're using guns, right?
Right.
How do you stand out in a crowd? Right?
You start shooting.
No. Do you ever think about building 7? Anyways,
What happened there?
but no, you have to think of a way to differentiate yourself from everyone else. Everyone has their own thing, right? You know, Brandon has his thing, Cody, blah, 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 right? But your thing is that you use history and in particular pop culture content pieces to talk about history in a way that is interesting and not just like it's just so it captures you. I don't know.
I wanted to expand on the context that goes into stuff.
Yeah, because it's all missed.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, we're not going to like study the history of like the Bush Wars in Africa. Like I just found out recently that you can fit like almost all continents into Africa or something crazy like that.
It's massive.
Like it's insane. And I heard there's still parts of it that are completely like uncharted, and they're like, we don't know.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what goes on over there. I remember that from what's his name. Food guy, Anthony Bourdain, when he was traveling there and like half his crew got lost and they couldn't find him. Yeah, they literally, like as they're shooting the show, like their crew, they didn't know where they were for like 2 days.
Oh,
No cell phone, nothing. They were just traveling by boat up the river.
that's crazy.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite people, one of my favorite storytellers.
Yeah.
Kitchen Confidential was one of the greatest books ever written. And his
I
voice.
miss that guy.
I do too.
So he's always comfy watching.
Yeah, it's like his book, when he talks about like wanting to become a chef and just the way he tells a story, I'm like, I need to learn how to do that. I need to learn how to like put you in a place where I show you what's happening. I don't tell you what's happening.
Yeah.
You do that very well.
I try, man.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. And I like it. Like it's,
Well, video is one of the most powerful ways to tell a story.
why do you think that is?
The visual, man.
It's more than just the visual, but why do you think that is? I know it's more than just the visual.
it's crazy. We have for the first time in like really human history, you can capture moments.
Yeah.
So you can capture, and like with the creative, you can will it into existence.
Yeah.
So if you have a camera, and everyone has cameras on their phones now, so you can start out however, but you can essentially capture your idea. You can orchestrate it to where it's like, hey, we're doing this skit.
Yeah.
We're doing this, this action
Tiny Guns
scene.
3,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're doing Tiny Guns 3.
Yeah.
You can organize and will it into creation, this idea that was in your head. And then you can visually show this idea in the most effective way possible. Because I can tell you about my idea. I can write my idea down. I can narrate my idea. But I can't, like, visualize my idea into your head.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to have your own visualization of it. But I can take my version of it and directly show you that.
Do you know that's a writing style?
What?
What you're describing is literally a writing style.
What kind of writing
It's
style
called
is
show,
it?
don't tell. That's it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like instead of like talking about a thing, you take them into the
That's
thing.
actually lines we've used with my guys before where it's like, hey, like the idea is to show this, don't tell. Because there's times where it's like, yeah, I can talk to a camera, but I also want to show the camera.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's how you make people a part of it.
right, exactly.
Again, I'm just thinking about all of us sitting in silence being like, God, he's so good.
God, that means a lot, man.
No, it really happened. It's a cool, like, this life I have now, it's those moments are the things that I know I'll carry forever.
Yeah.
Just all of us sitting there, whatever, or sometimes like sitting around laughing at something stupid, or we'll make up bits on the fly. And those are the things where I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah.
Everything else is cool, but like the fun stuff is just hanging out with the boys.
I would definitely agree with that. It's fun to be around guys that are very driven and motivated to get stuff done and creating cool stuff.
Yeah.
There's something to it.
Yeah, because I think it feels like we're discovering something new together.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right? As opposed to like spreadsheets, which the heavy hitters, they take the train to work every Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Bad day to be a spreadsheet, Monday through Friday.
Bad day to be a spreadsheet. Yeah. There is something to having a real job, and I don't miss it. But it's like, if that's your lot in life, I would say crush it, be a good family man. To me, I was always looking for something like the next best thing.
Me too.
Like I knew, I remember there was moments where I was like, all right, I don't think I'm gonna be a cop forever. So
When was that? Like day 2?
probably, yeah. Because I was looking at like staring down the barrel of like 25 years to retire and then 5 years for a drop. And it's like, which a drop program is like you stay another 5 years and it compounds like the retirement. And I was like, dude, okay, so in 30 years, I'll be 52. That's a long time to be doing this job. There's no way.
I knew when I was going to stop
Yeah.
doing what I was doing in the military.
What was it?
It was when I called home
Yeah.
on the French guy's phone.
You're
I
like,
had
yeah, this is going to run its course eventually.
There was a lot of effects it was having on my family that I won't really go into. I mean, it's just hard. I could see that. And I was like, I'm not doing this.
You're telling me being away from your family in a foreign country across the globe is putting a strain on your personal life?
Yeah, the rumors are true.
No way.
Yeah, well, I didn't see, there was no way that wasn't going to happen for the next 20 years. I was in the infantry. If you want to get promoted, if you want to be relevant, if you want awards, if you want all those things, whatever, to have a successful career, guess what you got to do? Got to deploy.
Got to go to war.
You got to go to war.
Yeah.
If you want to succeed in the military during wartime, you have to go to war.
You got to be in a hostile work environment.
Yeah, you got to be in God's most austere environments.
Abdul's got to be trying to kill you.
Yeah, you got to be.
Times.
Yeah, you got to be looking out for Mahmoud and getting him some watermelon, so he'll tell you where all the Taliban are. Real, literally me. Where are they?
That does not sound like a good, sustainable, healthy life.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It was just like it was hard because I was fulfilling everything I wanted, but the cost was too great.
Yeah,
and even I knew it would be hard. I had no concept whatsoever what that would be like.
You know, I had an idea because it's like you see people making money and you're like, you know what? They're making more money than I am doing stuff that's not as hard.
Yeah.
Like, why would I do this forever? Like, I kind of viewed it as, I always knew I wasn't going to do, like, if it was going to be either the military or law enforcement.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't going to do it forever. Like, it was going to be like, I did my civic service and then boom, bounce out.
Yeah.
So,
which it is a service. I mean, I've always said that we find the best version of ourselves in the service of others. It teaches you a lot about, people's different lives, about you, and like it really gave me a perspective that I'm truly grateful for.
Oh yeah,
but
some of the best education you'll ever get.
Yeah, like
I was trying to do college, but I hated it.
I hated it too.
Yeah,
I did one semester, didn't go well. 1.67 post military, 3.48 undergrad, 3.49 post grad. Like I just literally walked through college after that.
Yeah, I think more power to the guys that can just crush college first go. I was not one of those guys.
It's not one of you.
I was a bad student. I think if I went back now, I could probably do a little bit better.
Oh, it would be insane to you how good you would be. I'm telling you. Prior to enlisting, I was like smoking in the boys' room.
Yeah, that's exactly.
What's up, Teach? What are you here to teach me an education?
Oh, what do you know?
What do you know? Hey guys, gotta get out here. Got a Nickelback concert I gotta get to. See you cats later.
Stacy, what you doing later?
Yeah, what's up, girl?
Yeah.
No? All right.
Yeah, that was it, man. I was just like, I want to chase girls and I don't care about school.
Yep. And then you started going from there. You chased law enforcement, chasing people. And then you started chasing the YouTube, started chasing the algo.
Chasing the algo.
The real dragon that we're all chasing.
Yeah.
The YouTube algorithm, which you have the
high of highs and the low of lows.
You're doing great. I don't want to hear it. You're doing incredible at it.
Thank you.
What was your first video that you made and you're like, this might work?
I definitely remember the first video that popped off for my channel size was the Rhodesian FAL.
Okay.
That one popped off.
Why do you think that was?
I think it was one of those things. I remember at that time, there wasn't a lot of coverage on that genre, like the Blood Diamond Car 15, I kind of built like a big channel around that. The Rhodesian FAL. Like there was stuff around it, but there wasn't like getting, center stage because everyone was always like, my Mark 18 build,
Yeah.
It was all much more serious stuff where guys were just like, okay, what's the best efficient AR setup I can do? And I was like, I don't care about any of that. I want guns that are cool.
That sounds lame.
Yeah. It's like everyone already kind of had like, if you're a gun guy, you already have an idea of like what's going to be a rock solid setup. And then outside of that, like once you get that, it's like, it's kind of boring now for like entertainment purposes. If you're being brutally honest, it's like, oh, cool, another reliable AR-15.
Cool.
Don't care.
That's what I'm saying. Like in the sea of gun content, how do you stick out? And then you recognize that very quickly, obviously.
Yeah. If the Russians were falling from the sky, I'd be like, I'm going to grab my trusty AR and my Glock 17.
That's it.
And I'm good.
You're good.
There's no like, oh, am I going to get this, the new Staccato, or am I going to use this new, variant of the? No one cares.
No one cares.
I know.
I do like my
good.
Staccato though.
Yeah. Oh, Staccatos are sick.
Yeah. I was like, what's the hype? And I shot it, and I was like, never mind. I understand.
No, they're pretty good.
I understand. Yeah.
It's just the first name that came.
No,
sorry,
I understand.
Staccato. Yeah,
No,
nice.
you're
they're
fine.
very nice. Yeah.
Well, no,
expensive, but they're nice.
It's overwhelming. All this stuff.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I always think about is how overwhelming it is. Like when you're like, but I just like this. Like I like a very simple, reliable thing. And my mind always goes back to like pure infantry grunt of like, do I need this? Do I need that? No, this. And when times are tough, this was tougher. Regular AR, just a pistol. Let's go.
Yeah.
Not much else to it.
And there's something to be said about like the military guys that have actually been to war. It's like there's so much more to it than just having a good setup. It's like having buddies there that can cover you, having your explosives, having your belt feds.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys had freaking mortars and artillery and air support assets that can absolutely come in and rock people's world.
Yeah.
So,
and it was pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So this video pops off.
Mm-hmm.
How many views did it get?
I think it got like it really popped off. I remember it got like up to 200,000 views, and of course it kept going.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's at last time I checked. I think it's over 500 maybe. But I remember it got like 400,000 views too. There's only like 200 to 400. And my channel size was, I think, at the time either in the 10s or the 20s or the 30s.
Thousands? Whoa.
So it's a big ratio.
That's
a very big ratio.
Big boy right there.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, oh, this YouTube thing is going to be something.
All right.
So just kept going.
What year was this?
Had to be 2020, I think.
2020?
Yeah.
That's when you're like, there might be something here.
Yeah.
There might be something here.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's when I was like, okay, if I lean into this, I looked at that. If I was like, if I lean into this, I could probably do this full time. So then in 2021, I quit the PD and then leaned into YouTube full time.
And you were still masked up then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember when we met the first time was at SHOT Show, and you were still masked up at the time.
Yeah.
It was 22, 23.
I think my first SHOT Show would have been 22.
22 or 23.
Yeah.
I remember we all met at the Glock thing.
I think I missed 24. So I went to 22 and I went to 23.
Yes, it was 23.
Okay.
It was 23. That was the second one. I remember being like, oh my God, it's you. Like, I just remember seeing that, and I was like really starstruck. I was like, wow, this is the guy? And Cody's like, yeah, he's the one.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I'm meeting all the people I like online.
Survive hanging out with Cody, not getting doxed challenge, impossible.
Yeah. Well, it's just I was like, wow, this is hard. This is hard because like we were all hanging out, and then like you had the mask with you, and I was like, that's smart in case he has to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good. If you don't know, I used to like wear a balaclava and I'd keep my identity hidden. So I would have a pretty good eye for like when cameras were out, and I'd just like turn away.
Yeah. I do remember that one time where we were like filming something and you literally just started walking backwards.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he's good at it.
Yeah, I could sense it. Or like if we're like someone's doing something at dinner, I just put the menu up.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a secret agent, man.
Ah, yeah, no one can find him. And then so you just keep going. You just keep building and building and building.
Yeah, keep building, keep making videos, lean into it, scale it up, and then eventually did the unmasking, which was over a year ago now.
Yeah. I remember watching it, shirt off. Well, I'm sorry, you don't need to know that. But yeah, I watched it, on the home television. Put it up in the living room.
That was a fun one. That was a fun skit.
It was incredible.
We actually filmed the hotel scene at the one you're staying at.
Really?
Yeah, it was a pretty funny story because I went with my camera guy and I was like, hey, can I get a hotel room? And she was like, sure. So we get up there, we film all the scenes. It only took us like an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got the hotel room for the night.
You two dudes showed up and were like, we need this hotel for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I literally came back down. I was like, hey, can I get a refund? And she was like, okay, got all clammy, and I was like, I promise it's not like gay porn stuff, please. Like it was
like, look at him. Does he look like my type?
Does he look like? I mean, to be fair, Savio still is a handsome dude. So
Yeah,
he was my camera guy at the time. So I was like, to be fair, he is a good looking dude. So
yeah,
makes sense. I can get it.
No, I understand. I'm gonna go in there and ask him, see if I can find someone. Hey, do you know this?
Yeah,
do you know this guy?
It was like for a quick hour, and I was like, I just need this quick scenes. Got it. Boom, bounced.
I would love to know the story that was it a young lady?
It was a young lady.
I love to know the story that she tells people. These two dudes, they showed up with camera equipment.
I realized I was like, dude, I'm gonna try and get a refund real quick.
Yeah. Then they wanted a refund. I guess their date didn't go well. That's the story she tells. Ooh.
Yeah.
But when you did the unmasking, how did it feel?
It was definitely a little bit nerve-wracking, I would say, because I was like, well, I knew in my head, I was like, this could either make or break the channel.
Why? Why did you have that thought?
So at the time, there was this Minecraft YouTuber, and they're completely different breeds. But this dude, Dream, he did an unmasking, and the way he did it, he went about it all wrong.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And he just got memed to death. It didn't go well for him.
People called him ugly and said that he should have kept his hood on, which was.
He just went about it wrong. Like he did the whole thing. Like he just there was no like fanfare to it.
Yeah.
There was no great story. And I was like, well, if I don't do any of that,
je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, there's no je ne sais quoi. There's no art.
Yeah.
Like, if I do it right, I think because I want to do right by my audience.
Yeah.
You know, the guys that they spend time watching my stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
They make this possible.
Yeah.
And if I don't do it right, then I feel like it's a disservice to them. So I really wanted to like make sure it was good.
Yeah.
So.
And it was.
Oh, thank God.
Well, I mean, my opinion, but like there's this line where you're Deadpoolish in the sense of telling your stories. You're always giving a little wink and a nod to the breaking the wall, but you're also telling a story at the same time. And so it's always very believable. Does that make sense? Like
I'll take
you're enjoying it just as much as everyone else is.
Oh, I love it. I love making videos, man.
It is fun. It literally is fun.
Yeah.
And it's hard. That's also the thing that people don't know. And Tiny Guns 3, which you should watch it, it's probably out by the time this comes out. That really taught me the main difference between what we all do. And I'm in the lowest level of this. I'm not saying I'm compared to you, but what we all do to what like professionals do.
Yeah.
Like just the amount of coverage they got on every interaction. I was like, oh, this is like real stuff.
Yeah. It's a lot of like, coverage. And then even just like the time aspect is like you stand around and wait.
Yeah.
You got to be patient. It's not like you're filming. Like if you're on a set like that, it's like it's their show.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing their thing. So you have to stand around and wait for your time. Okay, it's your turn. Hit your line. Boom. I loved that set.
It was great.
I didn't have to do anything besides just act.
Yeah.
Which was sick. Normally when I'm making a video, it's like I'm directing, producing, organizing, getting the locations, talking to my other buddies that are in it.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, actually say this line this way. Okay, let's run it again.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do any of that. I just got to show up and
it's freeing.
Yeah, it's going to be myself. Even if I had to stand around and wait in a hot, American World War II outfit,
looking like a babe.
Looking like a babe.
You were like
very easy.
Yeah, all of y'all had like incredible outfits. Brandon's got his flowing hair.
Yeah,
killer outfit. Scott, you, and there's me, Cody, and Matt. And Micah, just like and Trout was hilarious.
Yeah, he was having a good time.
He was having a good time. He's also another creator that I love his commitment to what he's doing.
Yeah,
as well. Like his storytelling's, it pulls you in the same way.
Trout has excellent potential.
I want to invest in him somehow, or like just like I think he's only going to continue to flourish as now that he's in Texas and stuff, and he's like in that environment. That is the upside of all of them being there. Is it really is a hub? I mean, that's where we all hang out the most. Yeah, we go to Texas or we hang out at SHOT Show.
They had to pick San Antonio.
Yeah, they had to pick it.
I hate San Antonio.
I'm not a fan either. I'm much more of.
I don't hate people from San Antonio. I just hate your highway system. It freaking sucks.
I've been going there for years. I don't know if they've actually built anything.
I've been there a few times. And I'm like, this looks like the same thing.
Nothing's happened.
Yeah, it's
great for construct. If you're in construction in San Antonio, you are printing money.
You are
printing cash. And then there's a whole industry built off the roads. Between that, the lawyer with the big 4, you know what I'm talking about? He's like 444. He bought that number. Like the ambulance chaser lawyers.
Yeah.
Like those guys are doing great. Everyone else, it's just a nightmare to navigate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to go down there. I mean, I'm partial to home.
Something to be around the guys, man. Something like what your creative crew.
Well, that's what I always say is like it's the only way. It's the only time you'll find people that are doing the thing you're doing.
It is, yeah. There's definitely something to that because it's such a weird little niche of a job.
Well, because you're like, how'd this one do? Like 1 of whatever, or 1 of 10, 2 of 10, blah blah blah, and you're like, okay, I did this, I did that, or like, how many other men in their 30s or late 20s, early mid 30s talk about thumbnails the way
I know.
Like it's just like, what do you think of the color on this one? Can you see that? How do you feel about
how does
it?
Look? Does it look good? Does it pass the test?
It's just funny because that's like 50% of a video, I would say.
Yeah.
Just having a good thumbnail.
I mean, having a good thumbnail is so important. And
explain.
So, well, the thing is, like, making a good video is crucial, right? Making the best video you can make at that time, because you're always going to be learning, you're always going to be developing your skill set, but making the video that is awesome, there's a lot that goes into that. A lot of time, a lot of labor, a lot of effort, even money. So it's like you spend all of these resources, right? And if you aren't getting the clicks for all that time, right, because that's like the incentive is you want to get a lot of views, what was the point? If you have some crappy if you spend, even if you're not like making a video that's a high production, but you spend time doing it,
yeah.
Like, what was the point of doing all that work if the thumbnail isn't enticing to get clicks, right? Like, you can have, I mean, the clickbait thing where it's like, oh, that's clickbait. In some degrees, I think you can do clickbait as long as you deliver on that clickbait. I mean, just doing outright clickbait, like,
is this the cure for male loneliness?
Right. Like, it's got to like tie into what you're doing. It's gonna be the best version of that. Like your title and thumbnail. Like my hard rules are I try never to repeat the thumbnail text. So, because you have to think like your thumbnail is like a billboard for what you're doing, and then the text is like the context. So
the title or the text?
Sorry, the title is like the context. Okay. So in your thumbnail, you can have text like, hey, referencing, and then in your title, I try and never repeat what's in the thumbnail. So otherwise, it's just wasted space. Say if you have a thumbnail like this gun's cool, and then your text is this gun's cool, it's like, well, what's repetitive? This is repetitive.
Yeah, only one person can do that.
That's like the simplest, dumbest way I could break that down.
Yeah. No, I understand. What is that all that you think it takes to make a good thumbnail?
No, there's more to it. Like, I typically work backwards with videos. I'll think about video ideas, and then I think about the thumbnail for that video, whether it be a sick thumbnail or not. And then, because there's ways you can always, like, it's all in your head, right? All of your success is in your head.
Yeah. The secret.
It's the secret in your head. Really, it's like whatever's the best idea you come up with is how well it's going to do.
Yeah.
So I work backwards. I think my video idea, or I'll have ideas, and then I look at those ideas and I'm like, all right, what's the best thumbnail out of all of those I can immediately think of and act on? Then I go off that video, I make that video with a thumbnail in mind, envisioned it with the title as well, and then I can boom, it's like a finished project.
Wow.
So I work backwards in that sense. I don't make the video idea and then I'm like, all right, what should I make a thumbnail about for this? Because then it's like, ooh, I mean, there are times I've done that, but generally my rule of thumb is I work for the idea to thumbnail, then to the video.
That's smart.
Oh, thanks, dude.
I like it. I like this reverse engineering stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, and just the way you're phrasing it, like that it has to deliver on what the thumbnail is. Do you think that helps to play into the audience and help that connection with them?
Right, yeah, it's a trust with the audience so they know what they're going to get into.
Yeah, because
if I was making a video that says, I filled the pool with 1 million Orbeez, and then the video starts out with me, hey guys, I'm shooting this gun today.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone knows what you're doing.
Do you know why he did that, though?
What?
I found out why Jimmy did that, or Mr. Beast did that with the Orbeez stuff.
Oh, why?
He made content around Orbeez for ever how long he did, because Orbeez was trending on every platform. The SEO was through the roof on that. So that's why he was like, buy Orbeez, find a way to make Orbeez stuff.
Orbeez stock.
Orbeez stock. It's all right. I'm holding, thanks to the Roaring Kitty, on my AMC stock, AMC and GameStop stock.
Yeah.
Diamond hands, baby. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Never has a meme been able to control the stock market as well as just the guy leaning forward.
There's something to it.
It is weird they stopped all trading. That's all I'm going to say.
That's very suspect.
I don't know. I don't want to be conspiratorial, but they literally stopped all trading.
What happened with Tower 7?
Nothing touched it. Nothing touched it. But I like this. I like this thumbnail talk. So I'm literally going to steal this and I'm going to clip it.
That's what I'm telling. There's no secret to this. Nothing about this is a secret. I'm not going to say, oh no, there's some YouTube secret I'm holding on to.
Go ahead, tell us the YouTube secret now.
There's nothing to it. It's really like make best video you can, make best thumbnail you can, be as efficient as possible. Like it's like there's like the real secret is the repeatability of this over time. And then it takes resources to do this. Yeah, well, and evergreen content.
Evergreen content's I feel like is the number one underutilized mindset and overlooked.
Right. Yeah.
Because I can't make stuff about Dune. I can make stuff about Dune 2 forever because it's kind of like in the culture forever, but it won't be as popular and it'll come in waves, right?
Right.
Like now I can make more Lord of the Rings based content because they're about to re-release all the videos in theaters, stuff like that. You got to be mindful of trends.
Well, a beautiful thing, almost a counter argument to that is that YouTube, the beauty about YouTube is it's so niched. The power is in the niche now.
It works off of clusters.
If you go back to like 2015, 2016, there were like famous vloggers, like I think about Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
And there's only so many people that can be a Casey Neistat. He was just himself.
He's just cool.
He's just cool.
That's what I think about. Like his concept is I'm just cool.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
So you have that, and then people want to try and be that, but there's already a Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
You're not going to be as cool as that guy.
No.
So it's like if you look at the power of the niche, you don't just have to be niche. Like that doesn't have to be the only thing you do if that's what you want to do, but you can build a YouTube career off the power of the niche because the niche has such intrinsic interest at all times. Interesting. Like think about Nick the Fat Electrician. History, it's that event has already come and gone. It's been 80 years plus. Over 80 years since World War II.
Today we're talking about the oldest group of World War II veterans ever.
He's here in the room, isn't he?
Yeah.
History doesn't go out of style. It's a niche. So you can always do history content.
But it's his way of doing it.
Yeah.
It's his way of doing it.
His angle. It's like when you think about comedy, you can tell a joke your way. Another comedian can tell a joke his way. They're both going to be funny.
Yeah, one is Joe Rogan. The other one's Carlos Mencia, right? Because he steals jokes.
That's right. I think that's what the reference was.
Yeah. Nice.
That's pretty good.
Nice. No, well, I understand what you're saying. Like you're using that as a baseline.
Sure.
And then pushing out, right? So let me cook on this. Do you ever feel trapped by the genre you're in?
No, not really.
Do you ever feel trapped by anything in the content you're creating? Do you feel like the audience expects certain things out of you that you have to do? And that you're sometimes forced to do things or scared to push into new things or anything like that?
No, because there's things I know that I want to push into that I think would resonate well with the audience.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I'm not going to be like, hey guys, I'm doing a fashion blog today on administrative results. This is not happening.
Missed opportunity for all of us.
Yeah. Big miss. It's like there's stuff within my genre that's going to stay relevant to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not going to really like worry about that. Like I already know inside my head what I'm going to stick into my lane. If I want to do something completely different, I would start a new channel and then say, if I start a new channel.
Like Nico has like 12 channels.
Yeah, Nico has like 12 channels.
Yeah.
If I did, which that's even tough in itself because it's so much brain bandwidth that you have to spread around.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, dude, that's
only Nico can do that.
Apparently only Nico can.
Like I'm like legitimately impressed.
I'll have what he's having.
Yeah.
Whatever's
going on. Just I'd take 10% of it.
I'll take 10%.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
That'd be good.
Like I'm like, how many channels do you have? You started listing them. I was like, you're so much smarter than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Leave us alone.
Yeah.
It's just him in like a power station in Vegas, just like there's like screens everywhere.
I swear to God, he's got the limitless drug.
Yeah. He looks like Hugh Jackman in Swordfish.
Yeah, just major hacker moves.
Yeah, just killing it. What is something you want to do next? What's the next big project for Mr. Results?
Definitely short films. I keep talking about it. I just got to make one.
I have an idea for a film that I want to write with someone. I'll tell you after this.
Yeah, good. Don't tell me on camera.
I won't.
I don't want someone to steal it.
It's a passion project of mine, but I need people that can be. And you're a role I've been looking for, actually.
Oh, really?
We're going to talk about it over brunch.
That would be nice.
This isn't like a weird, I want to pitch you something. I know I sound like Jerry Bruckheimer right now, but like...
Hey, let me run this idea by you.
Hey, you got some talent. No, it's you understand emotionality in a good way.
Okay.
And so that's really what it comes down to. But so short films, can you talk about any of them?
They're all just in the idea phase. Nothing set in stone. I'm not going to tell you the premise, but the idea is to get there.
To get there?
To get one made.
Oh,
Sorry.
to get one made.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, the idea is lightsabers.
Yeah. Hear me out. John Wick with a lightsaber. No, that's actually not a bad idea.
Hey, whoa, cut that.
I'm gonna need that one.
Yeah.
No, the idea is just come up with a short film, get it written, execute on it, get it made, call it good. A big dilemma I have with short films is I feel like they're not optimized. It would have to lean into what I know about the YouTube space, because YouTube's not like I think there's a misconception where people want to make YouTube into something it's not, or they want it to be like especially in like my genre, when you do skits, it's like you want to scale your skit up to be the like movie quality production, but it's like that's so much work for a YouTube video.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets away from what YouTube is, where it's like broadcasting yourself.
Yes.
Even what I do.
It's you. It's your channel.
It's supposed to be you, right? So it would have to, it would have to tie into that aspect where it's like a short film, but it still has its finger on the pulse of YouTube, where it's not trying to be like too Hollywood, but it's still like high quality.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if I would do them all the time, like for every episode. But it'd be like a really cool just project to like, hey, here's a short film real quick on top of other content.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Do you feel that you're one of the ones who led the revolution into the gun space of like doing these skits and these historical things?
Definitely, I think Rantham would be the one.
I know, but I feel like you two are like left and right on that, like left seat, right seat, like doing it together.
Yeah, I mean, I love working with Mike. He's the one that he inspired me to pretty much start YouTube, like in the genre.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's like, I give him all the credit with that. Like, there's nothing I'm going to take away from that.
No, he's definitely the pioneer in the space of doing it that way. But I feel like you're like he's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's coming up the
like
same thing.
Like a different branch almost.
It's a completely different style in all the best ways.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun doing those skits. I have probably more fun doing the skits than I do talking about like a gun.
Yeah.
So I definitely got to lean into that more.
I think so. I think they're great. I love them.
I'll take it, dude.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Because I've noticed it more and more. Do you know who Dirty Civilian is and all them? Yeah, I've noticed they do that stuff and I've just been watching the whole space evolve because, like, I don't know a lot about gun tubers, but I know initially it was just like Hickok and like people like that just being like, Sunday shoot 'em up, which is fine.
Oh, absolutely.
And then it's really changed so much recently, or at least that I've noticed, from that to like gun reviews, because review channels are in every genre.
Sure.
Breakdown channels are in every genre. And then it's like, now it's just it's a gun review with like other things involved to make you want to watch it.
Yeah.
Which.
Yeah. And I think about too, there's only so many guns you can review that are like cool. Like there's like always new product coming out, but there's like the cool guns. And even those guns, like people beat YouTube reviewing them all the time or talking about them.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, well, you're not going to be there first in many cases. So what are you going to do different?
I think about, what if I run out of ideas all the time?
I don't really worry about that. I always have like a bank of ideas.
I say that, but there's at least 100 things saved on my phone.
Yeah.
Like if I could stop creating content, I'd be good for at least a year if I didn't like kind of actively fill it up. But a part of me is like, what if I don't have anything to say?
Yeah.
What if I'm tired? What if there's nothing new? I think about that a lot.
Skill issue.
It's a skill issue.
Get good, dude.
Get good.
Yeah.
Get good.
Hey, if you want to make YouTube videos for funsies, don't suck.
Don't suck. That's good. You should sell a course.
Nah.
You're not gonna sell a course?
YouTube's already free, dude. I'm not selling a free course.
Well, I mean, might as well. There's plenty of opportunity. You'd be like, this is how you upload a video.
So that's what, I don't like the idea of that, because there's no secret to this. It's just, can you repeat?
But people think there is. They think that there is a secret to everyone thinks there's a secret to everything.
The secret is you do it a lot and then you get good at it. That's like the secret.
That's the secret to life.
Your first video is going to suck.
Everything's going to suck.
Whatever you make first is going to suck. You just got to start the process. You put yourself out there. It's scary, I know, but you commit to it and you have a good time.
You have a real good time.
And then you talk on a podcast like we're like more important, like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you just fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of deal with controversies as they come and go.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't get any better than this. Bros hanging out.
Just guys being dudes.
Guys being dudes. Dudes being bros.
Dudes being bros.
Huh. What else? Is there anything else I'm missing? What's something you want to get off your chest? What's something you've been dying to say?
Man.
What do you want people to know about Mr. Visconti? Mr. Results. What do you feel like are common misconceptions?
I'm very mortal.
You're very mortal?
Yeah.
What does that mean? You err?
I think
You make mistakes?
Yeah, all of that. I know for sure. Like, I think there's an idea when you're like a gun guy that you think, or at least in this space,
Go ahead.
when you're a gun YouTuber, you think you're the action star of the war, of whatever hypothetical conflict you think of in your head, that you're going to be some stud like Audie Murphy. That's not the case. I'd be the dude that jumps off the armored vehicle onto a mine and then loses my leg. Like, I'd be that guy.
Still a hero.
Yeah.
Jumped in, went towards the sound of chaos. That's all I really need.
Hey, that's fair, dude.
Yeah,
that's
it's
fair.
all a dice roll. It's all based off numbers.
That's true.
The more deployments you do, the more patrols you do. The more patrols you do, the more contact you get. The more contact you get in, the chances are someone will get hurt.
I just don't like the idea of someone thinking that I think that I'm like a high speed cool guy. Like, I know I'm a nerd, so that's if anything to get off my chest, I'm aware.
Yeah. Well, everyone's a nerd.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, look at this stuff. Look at us.
Yeah, look at us.
Look at us. You know, you're the real life Danny Archer.
That's not the case.
But like, what is that, a Brightly?
You got me there.
You got me. Whoops. Ooh. Well, no, I do you find that people have a tough time distancing you from what you create and then you as a person? You said
I don't want them to. I want to keep them. I want to be aloof. I want to keep them in the dark.
Well, yeah, I understand that. There has to be a little bit of separation. Like I always say, veteran with it's warfighter. That's not how I am as a person. I'm much more reserved. Like, I really just like reading comic books and being a nerd and, you know, talking about like the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell and stuff like that. That's like me as a whole. You know, I like working on carpentry, you know, doing stuff like that.
You know who else liked working on carpentry?
Who?
Jesus.
You said it. Hey, man, you said it.
I'm just saying. You know who else liked working on carpentry?
Who?
Harrison Ford.
Total babe. I always say I didn't have a real dad growing up, so I had to pick dads, and it was Han Solo, Indiana Jones, Doc Holliday. Now, two of those are Harrison Ford characters. Two different men. One's a learned man of science who likes adventure. The other one's a scoundrel and a smuggler. The other one's just cool and having fun, playing cards. Yeah. Those are the male role models I fashioned myself after.
That sounds like a pretty good deck of cards.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to pick people, if you're going to pick them, you got to have some.
Why not?
I don't know. Maybe if I found someone else, you know, veterans organizations wouldn't attack me and things like this wouldn't happen, but we'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be fine. By now, the controversy should have settled.
It's fine. Yeah. Everyone has their right. I want people to have the right to choose, and things have moved forward. Like, that's all I really care about.
Crazy concept.
Crazy concept.
Who would have thought the free market doing its thing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine. Sometimes I worry about how I'm being interpreted and what I'm trying to do, so I kind of double down on like who I am and go from there. That's all you really can do, you know? Because like it is hard because everyone views whatever you're doing through their own perspective. Yeah, and I definitely am guilty of that too. But
I agree, dude.
Well, as we're wrapping up here, final thoughts. Where can everyone find you? Obviously, they know.
Administrative Results on YouTube. If you want to watch.
Is that YouTube.com?
The YouTube.
Oh, the YouTube.com.
Administrative Results. Second channel managerial outcomes. If you want more content, you can watch the podcast we did together.
Please do.
So it'll be a good time. Thanks for having me on the channel, man.
Oh, it's an honor and privilege. Thank you so much.
Let's go get some food.
Let's go eat.